We all do gender. It is both a highly personal and intimate thing, as well as a performance that is constantly read or misread. From the time we are born, we are labeled, conditioned, and expected to act along the gender binary. But what happens when someone doesn't identify with their label, or doesn't identify with this idea of a gender binary at all? There is no place where gender is used to control bodies more than in prison. In the US, prisons are gender segregated and people are housed according to their sex assigned at birth. While this strict gender enforcement is beginning to change, accounting for the growing trans and non-binary population, there is little education around gender as a whole in the carceral space. When my partner decided to transition inside the prison we were both housed at, I decided to do something. Something about the lack of knowledge and the population's response that was based in fear and ignorance. The gender education program that I created grew into a support group and an ongoing workshop series to cultivate a safer and more accepting environment for gender nonconforming people. With the onset of COVID, programming in the prisons has all but shut down. And so my pitch for this project is to revamp the education program that I did create to be published into a workbook that would provide the basic structure and education resources to teach a group of incarcerated folks from each Washington prison about gender, and to get their own programs running inside that could be sustained despite the COVID restrictions. This is important work. It is necessary work. Giving people access to knowledge and language that gives form and context to their embodied experiences is one of the most empowering and liberating acts. And no one in Washington state is doing it because the incarcerated population is often overlooked, and the trans and non-binary population of prisoners is even further marginalized and forgotten. Providing this form of education, meant to be built upon and tailored rather than taken as unquestionable fact, is a big move toward empowering the trans and non-binary incarcerated folks to lead their own movements and to advocate for the changes that they wish to see. This advocacy transcends the carceral space, and it translates into political action outside of the prison. I hope that you can see the importance of this work.